It's an orange juice.
What's up, everyone? I'm Yarn from Orange Juice. My real name is Ryan. No, I'm just kidding. It's Jimmy. I'm doing a Q&A today. After the Q&A, I'll be featuring my gameplay in the Korean tournament where I was on Nick and Pat's team. Will you ever do a face reveal? I did a face reveal last month on Twitter, but everyone thought I was Jiro. Is not Ryan Yarn? No. How old are you? I'm the same age as Nick. Where do you live? I live in Canada. Are you Korean American? I'm Chinese Canadian. Why aren't you top? Gems are expensive. How do you know all of these facts? I get all the data from the wiki. A lot of it is just playing the game and watching replays. Forums and Reddit have amazing content too. Do you ever lose? Every day. Are you and Jiro a couple? She's my special orange. Why isn't Jiro doing any of these videos anymore? She helps me produce videos. Catch her on Twitch next month. When did you start playing Clash Royale? In January. How frequently do you play the game per day? Enough to get crown chests on both of my accounts. Do you spend any money on the game? The day before the tournament in Korea, I had level 6 hogs, so I opened 20 giant chests in my main account. Ever since then, I've been buying legendaries in the shop so I can keep up to date with the latest legendaries for the channel. Yarn, what happened in the Super Magical Cup? How did you lose in the first round? I sucked. Are you guys just YouTubers, or do you work for Supercell? We're just YouTubers. How did you choose the name Orange Juice? A lot of you guys asked this question. I don't have a cool answer for that. I like simple names, and I like oranges. Are you the same producer of Mixer's songs? No, he's a personal friend and a local DJ. How do you feel about the fact that you've grown this much basically overnight? It feels unreal. Jiro thinks we're at 100 subscribers. Did you think you'd have this many subscribers? Never. What recording and editing softwares do you use for these videos? I get asked this question a lot. I want to stress that the content you make is more important than the software that you're using. But to answer your question, Audacity, Photoshop, Premiere, Illustrator, and After Effects. Hey Yarn, how much time does it usually take for you guys to make a single video? To make a video, I start writing a script, record all the footage, record the audio, and then finally create the graphics and animations. The entire process for one video takes me about 3 days, which is about 30 hours. What's your favorite game besides Clash Royale? Zelda. Are you ever going to play anything else other than Clash Royale? I would love to once I have time. Do you play Clash of Clans? And if so, could we know what clan you're in and your town hall level? I do. I have 2 town hall 11s and Reddit Aries. Any tips on how to grow your channel fast on YouTube like your channel has? Wicked compiled a video of all the big YouTubers giving tips. Check out the description for the link. Have you ever met Molt, Pat, or Nick? I've met Nick and Pat. I'd love to meet Molt though. What other YouTubers do you watch? Sometimes I watch Casey Neistat. What made you want to start YouTube? I wanted to start a YouTube channel where I could deliver concise information. Hey Yarn, do you make YouTube videos for a living or do you also work? I recently quit my job and dived into YouTube full time. What's your Instagram? My personal Instagram is Yarn. How can we join your clan and will there be a patron page? Just apply. If the spot isn't reserved, we'll accept you. There is a patron page. It's kind of like Kickstarter, but it's a monthly pledge. Jiro doesn't like being my sugar mama. How's the hair donation? I'm ready to donate my hair soon. I plan to do a fundraiser. Do you love me? I love all my oranges. Nah, delete that. Who's your favorite clan member and why is it Panda? My favorite clan member is Panda because he's really mature for his age. Also for inventing the Panda deck, that's sick. That's all the questions for today. Jiro is going to do a face reveal for our 200k subscriber special. Post your questions about what you want to know about her. So I went to compete alongside Nick and Pat in the Clash Royale Invitational tournament. First team to win 2 sets wins the tournament. Each player is matched against someone else from the other team. It was 1 versus 1. Of those matches, it's best of 7. All cards are allowed. The winner has to keep the same deck. If you lose, you have the choice to change your deck. Let's dive straight into round 1. Right off the bat, I start off with a pig push to surprise Angel. Looks like it pays off because he couldn't react with his cannon fast enough. The hog dealt over 1,000 damage to the tower 15 seconds into the game. Spear goblins alone can deal 300 damage to the tower, so I took them out with skeletons for a positive elixir trade. I didn't really have anything to address the miner, but I knew left alone he would have done over 400 damage, so I used my fire spirits. I overcommitted with my minions, but it pays off because it chipped his tower. Angel plants an elixir collector, so I decide to rush him with a pig push to prevent him from accumulating 10 elixir for a huge push. The pig push enabled my hog to bypass his reactive cannon plant. I have a skeleton in my hand, so I'm not worried because I know they can tank 2 shots from an ice wizard. I don't want him pushing one side too hard. So I sent in my World Giant to the right to force Angel to play his cards in the other lane. I missed my skeleton surround on the ice wizard, but the skeletons were still able to take care of him. One fire spirit lands a hit on the tower, while his P.E.K.K.A strikes my tower twice. At this point I know I can afford those hits. I plant my spear goblins in hopes of chipping off the arena tower. But it looks like he already had a cannon and ice wizard deployed. I sent in my cannon to take care of the ice wizard because he can deal over 300 damage to the tower if ignored. That's the beauty of legendaries. They're mostly even elixir trades. I noticed a pattern with Angel. He likes to plant the miner in the outside center tile, so I planted my skeletons where he usually deploys them. His miner didn't even touch my tower. While we're low on elixir, I pig pushed with fire spirits. I send in a zap and that's value. I killed his spear goblins and stunned everything else, letting my hog get one hit in. At this point I can't afford letting his P.E.K.K.A reach my tower. So I spaced my goblins away from the tower in case he was planning to zap my arena tower. With the elixir pump still on the map, I continue applying pressure with my Royal Giant. Angel didn't react with the cannon fast enough and had to waste the zap. He overcommitted on the left side, so I pig pushed with skeletons on the right side. Angel planted spear goblins to chip away at my hog, but that does nothing when I'm armed with a zap. It also stunned his tower, allowing my hog to finish it off. I don't have much to defend against double ice wizard and a mini P.E.K.K.A. I know I'm going to lose the tower. The best I can do is send in minions and skeletons to chip away at them so my king's tower doesn't have much trouble finishing them off. With 20 seconds left on the clock, I'm gonna trade my tower for his. He used his fireball for the first time after 2 minutes and overkills my arena tower. But at this point, it doesn't matter with 15 seconds left on the clock. There's not much he could have done. And that's game for round 1. Now let's get into round 2. Same as before, I noticed Angel and his teammates really enjoy pumping up. So my strategy for this tournament is to rush them at every moment I can. I sent in spear goblins to deal chip damage. That's more damage than one hog strike. It also cycled my deck. Now I have skeletons to plant on top of these archers. With this pump freshly planted, I planted my Royal Giant to take care of it. I end up denying 5 elixir from pumping. And I managed to draw out his barbarians. Lucky for me, he missed his zap. Keep in mind this was May 18th and the fire spirits literally just got buffed an hour ago. This is probably a second game ever seeing fire spirits being used in a real match. The fire spirits didn't clip all the barbarians, so I needed to clean up with my minions. With my minions lingering and his barbarians out of rotation, I sent in my hog to tank for the minions. Angel deploys minions to counter my push, but I zapped his minions and one minion survives with a sliver of health. With the hog it almost dealt 1,000 damage. Since the losing side has the option to change their decks, I wasn't sure if he had mini P.E.K.K.A or not. So I circled my Royal Giant with skeletons to protect him just in case. Looks like he doesn't have a mini P.E.K.K.A, but that's okay because I sent in my fire spirits to make the barbarians more manageable. For the first time in the match, we're both saving elixir waiting for the next move. So I send in my minions and Royal Giant on the left side. Angel reflects the actions and deploys Royal Giant to tank for the archers on the right side. I plant a reactive cannon to tank, and skeletons to chip away. With the Royal Giant, those archers can be trouble, so I sent in my fire spirits to deal with the archers, while he sent in barbarians to counter my Royal Giant. It's a good trade because I dealt more damage. I managed to pull the barbarians with spear goblins, and I decide to pull the last barbarian with my Royal Giant. He answers with minions and archers. I zap to stun so my Royal Giant can get one extra hit in, and so my arena tower can chip away at them. Angel overreacted with a late cannon, so I punish him with a pig push in the other lane. He misplanted his barbarian block and overcompensates with a zap. My hog still manages to get one hit in. I need to clean up the barbarians, so I plant my minions. That's the beauty of this deck. Barbarians and mini P.E.K.K.As can be countered with minions for a positive elixir trade. He was a bit too early on his cannon plant, so I take advantage of that and pig push on the left side. I couldn't cycle my zap fast enough to zap the tower and minions. I quickly send in my Royal Giant because I know his cannon is out of rotation. He cycles his cannon, but it's too late. And that's a victory for round 2. Jumping into round 3, Angel has a new deck, and I'm not sure. But I know he's not used to this kind of aggression, so I send in my Royal Giant for some easy hits on his tower. He counters with the barbarians, which is exactly what I want because minions can easily take care of them. He plants a Royal Giant, so I plant a reactive cannon and skeletons for the damage. I immediately pig push on the left, and it looks like the hog is going for the cannon, but then swerves for the tower. His mini P.E.K.K.A may have affected my hog's pathing. With everything clumped together, I zap all 3 units to stun, This allows my Hog one more hit. 1 minute has passed and he's only played 5 different cards. I don't know 3 of his cards, so I pull his mini P.E.K.K.A in case he has a freeze or a miner. I quickly rush in with a Royal Giant and surround him with skeletons as a cheap shield. Angel responds with minions, so I counter with Fire Spirits. And they end up taking out the Barbarians too. That's value for 2 Elixir. One of the best cards in the game if used correctly. With the flow of everything, I know I just have to keep applying pressure to slowly chip him away. Because I know he has the answers to my Hog or Royal Giant, but not both. He sends in a cannon and a mini P.E.K.K.A, which tells me he only has Barbarians in rotation to address my Royal Giant. I quickly take care of the mini P.E.K.K.A and plant my Royal Giant as soon as I can afford it. Desperate to stay alive, Angel defends with an Elixir Pump. I send in my Hog and he successfully defends with another cannon and mini P.E.K.K.A. I pull his mini P.E.K.K.A to the center and cycle back to my Royal Giant. Since he has a higher cost deck, it was easier for me to keep track of his card rotation. I knew he didn't have Zap, so I send in Fire Spirits as backup, and it pays off when he plants Barbarians. Confident that my Royal Giant can take out the left side, I pig push on the right side and cycle my Royal Giant back for a massive push. A few more seconds, and this match would have been a hat trick. With 3 wins, I only needed 1 more to secure my victory since it's best out of 7. Jumping into my 4th match, I continue my aggressive playstyle and rush in with a Royal Giant. Angel does the exact same thing, but this is my first time seeing him use skeletons and Fire Spirits. I immediately knew he copied my deck. It's now a race of who can remain the most offensive. He overcommitted on the right side, so I end up doing more damage on the left side. I planted the Royal Giant to open up the other lane. Angel correctly responds by ignoring my Royal Giant and rushing the other side. I zapped his minions and Hog. This is the single biggest mistake in the entire tournament I've done, as I should have planted a cannon to pull the Hog then zap. With this knowledge, he takes advantage of the open lane and plants a Royal Giant. The strength of this deck is to open up a lane as soon as possible so he can keep cycling Royal Giant to the center. There's a 700 health difference in our towers, and I know he has to make a huge mistake for me to win. He proactively plants a cannon, which means my Royal Giant can't be planted in the center. That was a really good move on Angel's part. I sent in my Royal Giant to take care of it from a distance. He surrounds my Royal Giant with skeletons, dealing massive damage to it in the long run. While pressuring my side with the Hog, it forces me to play my cannon. All while his skeletons, minions, and spear goblins chipped away at my Royal Giant. My minions were outnumbered. I had to zap his units or else Angel would have been able to support them with a tank. My cannon's now out of rotation, which allowed Angel to plant a Royal Giant to openly attack my tower. At this point, there's not much I can do. I planted my cannon on top of the Royal Giant's hitbox to push him out of range of the arena tower. By now he already cycled back to his Royal Giant and I'm down another cannon. With 30 seconds left on the clock, I have to ignore his Royal Giant and aggressively attack the other side if I have any hopes of winning. He has 2 cannons on the map and support troops. Combined, it all demolishes my Hog and Giant, but my Royal Giant does manage to get some chip damage. I quickly planted a Hog to tank for my small units, but Angel's Fire Spirits crushed my dreams. His zap stun on my Hog single-handedly saved his arena tower. And that is game! Angel played my deck very well. The score is now 3-1. I need to defeat him one more time to win. Before we head into Game 5, let's take a look at what I could have done differently. Right here I zapped first, so I didn't have enough to plant a cannon, when the cannon should have been planted first. If you rewind, you'll notice Angel planted the Hog on the outer tile. In this situation, it's entirely possible to pull the Hog into the other lane. Now let's hop into the 5th match. Since Angel won, he has to keep the same deck. I use this knowledge to my advantage and swap out my Hog for mini P.E.K.K.A. This deals with his Royal Giant and Hog. I start off the match by rushing my Royal Giant. He mirrors me and rushes the other side. Angel proactively plants Fire Spirits to counter all the small units. It's a lot of burst damage to my tower, so I use the mini P.E.K.K.A to absorb the fire spirits as well as take out his giant. I sent in spear goblins to support the mini P.E.K.K.A. He swings for the cannon, and he dies. Angel didn't need to zap my spear goblins. Doing so gives me an elixir advantage. With this advantage, I cycle my roll giant. Angel responds with rear spear goblins, so I zap the goblin and stun the tower. Unfortunately for Angel, he planted the minions too early, getting clipped by my zap. His fire spirits clean up my swarm, so I send in spear goblins. But he immediately zaps them. With his tower down, I have the roll giant advantage. With this cycle deck, it doesn't have many defensive options, which means you have to be aggressive and force your opponent to spend elixir on defenses. Otherwise, they'll accumulate elixir for a strong push that's impossible to defend with small units. With Angel planting the roll giant in the back, I know he's down 6 elixir, so I start applying pressure with my roll giant. Like I was saying, with my aggressive offense, he had no elixir to back up his roll giant, and I was able to defend with a cannon and some small units, which allowed me to cycle back to my roll giant. That one spear goblin is MVP. It threw 6 spears. I prematurely send in my mini P.E.K.K.A to tank for the spear goblins. I was too eager to take out his tower. He sends in the hog to rush, but I have a cannon to pull the hog. With this cannon still on the map, I send in my roll giant to clear it. I plant a reactive cannon, but it was one tile too far to pull the hog. It's nearly impossible to stop the roll giant's chip damage, and that's what this deck is about. Pressure your opponents so they're never sitting at 10 elixir for strong combos, and keep applying chip damage. You send in a roll giant, they can counter with minions, barbarians, or mini P.E.K.K.A. And you can counter that with fire spirits or minions. That's it for my matches. If you want to check out Nick and Pat's matches, links are in the description below. They're all subtitled in English. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more quality OJ. Are you a female? That depends. So many questions.